doors should never be opened. Some places should be left to rot, and some sins should never be confessed. That warning should have been enough. But for Maya, a thrill-seeking YouTuber always chasing the next viral scare, it was just a line she could open her newest horror vlog with. Maya and her friends, Jason, her cynical ex, Lexi, the wild party girl, and Marcus, the quiet cameraman, drove deep into the woods to an abandoned bed and breakfast known as the Wickwood Inn. Maya had found it through a paranormal message board, a forgotten place with a haunted reputation, perfect for her live stream series, Ghosted 48 Hours in Hell. The inn stood like a rotting tooth in the jaw of the forest, its roof caved in places, the windows dark and soulless. The air turned colder as they stepped out of the van. Nature around them seemed to hush. Inside, dust lay thick as snow. Cobwebs stretched across antique furniture. The grand piano in the parlor sat silent and sad. But the strangest item was what stood in the center of the room. A pedestal with a massive leather-bound guest book. Its cover read, "Guests of Wickwood." Curious, they flipped it open. Hundreds of names and entries lined its pages. But they weren't typical guest comments. They were confessions. "I lied about what I saw. The boy never drowned. I pushed him." On the first blank page was a message written in deep red ink. "Confess before sunset, or stay forever." They all laughed it off. Jason rolled his eyes. Lexi made a joke about haunted Wi-Fi. But that night things shifted. Their fake seance began with laughter. They played spooky sounds, acted out demonic voices, even staged a fake possession. Their viewers online ate it up. But when the power abruptly died and the fireplace roared to life on its own, the mood changed. A child's laughter echoed from upstairs. Lexi screamed and ran to the upper floor. Minutes later, she was gone, vanished. They searched the house top to bottom. Nothing. Until Maya checked the guest book again. A fresh entry had appeared. A child's life for silence. She watched him fall and said nothing. Lexi has paid. Panic set in. The doors refused to open. The windows were bricked up, trapped. Marcus, shaking, confessed he'd stolen from his dying mother. The house groaned, but he remained untouched. It seemed confessions kept the evil at bay. Jason refused. He insisted it was a setup, Maya's prank, ratings bait. But Maya was too shaken. Upstairs, she found old newspapers. Wickwood Inn Massacre, 1973. 7 dead, a guest book full of confessions. One photo showed the victims. One woman looked eerily like Maya. A flash of memory, her grandmother's warning. This place was connected to her family. A demonic pact had been made long ago. That night, dreams took her. She wandered endless hallways, all lined with mirrors. Each mirror reflected not her, but alternate versions of herself. Some bloodied, some crying, one whispering, "You brought them here. You always bring them." The next morning, Marcus found her curled in the fetal position in the hallway, eyes wide open, muttering Latin phrases she couldn't understand. Then the demon came. It emerged from the shadows, horned and towering, with eyes that gleamed like molten gold. Its voice was deep and guttural, but somehow echoed inside their skulls. When Jason tried to burn the guest book, the pages bled. The demon seized him, forced him into a vision of his younger brother drowning, while Jason laughed from the shore. Jason's scream echoed as his soul was ripped out. The guest book wrote on its own, "He let him die," and smiled. Jason has paid. The walls bled. The floors creaked with invisible footsteps. Paintings wept black ichor. Time seemed to stretch, the clocks running backward. Now only Maya and Marcus remained. The demon made an offer. One more confession would finish the book. The last page for freedom. Maya could live if she told the truth. Through tears, she admitted it all. She had known what this place was, her family's secret. She brought her friends for the content, for the fame. She never told them what the guest book truly meant. The demon demanded more. Not just your sin, all of them. Tell the truth of your bloodline. And she did. She confessed that her great-grandfather had summoned the demon in 1923, offering souls in exchange for prosperity, that each generation was expected to feed the book, and that her mother had escaped it once by sacrificing her own sister. Blood dripped from her fingers as the book sealed shut. The demon screamed. The house groaned as it began to collapse. Maya and Marcus barely escaped, sprinting through the collapsing ruins as the inn was swallowed into the earth. 1 year later, Maya lived alone. Her YouTube channel deleted, her friends lost, but the whispers never stopped. Sometimes her reflection moved on its own. Sometimes she found red ink smudges on her mirror. And sometimes, in the silence of night, the sound of pages turning. One day, a package arrived at her door. No return address. Inside was the guest book. A note lay atop it. You escaped. But the story isn't over. Maya stared at the book as her eyes turned black. Some sins, it seemed, find their way back home. Late at night, Maya sometimes hears the creak of the front door, though it's always locked. She sees shapes standing at the edge of her hallway mirror, too tall to be human. And the guest book? It's never where she left it. Last week, she found a new entry, written in the same deep red ink. One more name. Yours. She tried to run, tried to burn it, but fire only made it laugh. Now the house smells of old wood and rot, just like Wickwood. She knows what's coming, because the book doesn't want stories, it wants endings.